Thank you for the time to present. We are delighted to present an overview of our technology which supports the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Our solutions take into account ways to replace carbon and methane in the energy ecosystem, which will have an impact on millions of lives, especially in cities. Imagine a world where molecule fuels and chemicals come from renewable energy sources, further decarbonizing the non-electricity aspects of the global energy system. Well, imagine no more. Green hydrogen made from renewable energy can have a significant effect on decarbonizing the global energy system. Advances in technology have led to significant innovations that improve the efficiencies of electrolyzers, thereby reducing costs. But the key challenge remains finding renewable energy for a sustained duration and linking green hydrogen to markets. At Green Hydrogen Solutions, we combine big data and artificial intelligence with innovative technologies to develop lower than average cost projects that produce hydrogen at competitive prices linked to demand. We are developing a green hydrogen neural network, a global neural network linking renewable electricity and markets to electrolysis seamlessly across many systems and devices. So what does this mean for the Sustainable Development Goals? We are creating an efficient system powered by renewable electricity and using hydrogen to produce molecule fuels and chemicals, displacing hydrocarbons while at the same time improving energy efficiency and system efficiency. The hydrogen ecosystem is undergoing rapid development and will over time have the capability to modernize and transform the energy ecosystem. From all the green hydrogen apps, which we call them, available to address the energy challenge, we can choose those that can address certain key energy challenges, all backed up by data. As I indicated before, the key challenge is securing low-cost renewable electricity for the longest hours and linking production to markets. This is where our solutions using artificial intelligence deployed to a smart, integrated electricity and heating system and energy market can solve the problem. We process our data on the AWS platform and are part of the AWS Activate program. We also use Azure for machine learning. We have a network of AI and ML specialists working on various projects and have advisors and engineering specialists that we deploy to develop our pilot projects. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brahim.
Did that come through okay?
Yeah, everything is perfect. Can you please enable your video as well so that we can see you? And
okay.
yeah, maybe ask also our experts if any of you have any questions to be asking. Yeah, we have John here. Please go ahead.
Yes, I mean, how are you? It was a very good presentation. I do have some questions for you.
Sure, no problem.
Okay, in relation to your business model, okay?
Yeah.
Can you define how, for the two questions, how is your business model and how is that compared to your competitors? And is there a large competitive base in your vertical markets? There's like three questions there.
Okay, so the first is, what is the business model?
Yes.
So the business model is we develop hydrogen projects and we produce green hydrogen, and we would be at lower cost than the current pilot projects. All projects in the world basically are pilot projects because of the nature of the industry.
Okay.
And at present, the largest operating electrolyzer is 10 megawatts in Europe, but there are lots of announcements that have been made recently. So we would also be developing a pilot project.
Okay.
On the technology side, we would be AI as a service. So once we use a pilot project to prove our capabilities in terms of using the neural network, we can then sell that as a service. So long term, we'll have two revenue sources. One is we'd be selling hydrogen at a certain price per kilogram. Initially, we're needing carbon incentives. And then we would also be selling to other project developers, not exclusively to our own, AI as a service. And the reason why we have to do pilot projects is to prove our technology.
Okay, next question, if I may, is that I've seen that you have blockchain. Are you using smart contracts?
At this stage, the industry is not set up. So on the renewable energy side, things are moving very fast.
Okay.
But you have variable PPAs or power purchase agreements, but they're not there yet. On the market side, it's a lot further behind than the renewable energy side. We have a 3, 5, and 10-year plan around that. And the legislation also needs to catch up, which will take a bit of time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we have a question from Josh and then Yuvan. So please, Josh, go ahead, and then Yuvan can follow right away.
Yes, just to further to your question from John, I just would like to know who is the really target client in your market, and then how big do you envision your market?
Yeah, so our target market is molecular fuels and chemicals. If you think about fertilizers, if you look at the chemical industry, that can be, which is currently from hydrocarbons, that can be sourced from hydrogen, and then fuel cell batteries, which are also a very large industry for heavy vehicles. And then in the long run, ammonia for shipping, logistics. We did an assessment of the market, and the market potential is more than $1 trillion by 2050, and that will evolve over time.
Yeah, Yuvan, your turn. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Josh. Question: you have mentioned AI as a service in your product. Can you a little bit explain what is the value of your AI at the end? Actually, what's exactly the value that you are creating? And can you brief about the data sources that you are using for it?
Sure. Yeah, so the AI as a service is the algorithm that we will use that will connect to markets and to renewable energy. So to give you an example, if you have a wind plant, we would be able to predict what the capacity of that wind plant is, how much kilowatt hours would be dispatched to the electrolyzer, and at the same time be able to say where would it go into the market. The other benefit we'd have is if the wind generator spins once and let's say generates 1 kilowatt hour, the system would choose whether to make hydrogen or to deploy it to the grid because there's a demand. Let's say a person needs to charge their mobile phone or electric vehicle. So it looks at the best use case and the time of the day and what the optimal use of the energy is. And that creates system efficiency as well. So if you're a project developer or you're developing a hydrogen project, it would improve the cost of your hydrogen. And if you are a renewable energy project developer, it would find the best use case for your kilowatt hours that you are producing. So we think you would have a huge incentive to work with us because we would already have a proven model. In terms of the data we collect globally from gas network operators, from companies that publicly publish their information. What we are working on is with grid operators and network operators in gas as well. Like in the UK, there's an initiative called Gas Goes Green. So they are setting up a data system where they're going to supply data to the market. And we are quite for that. Our uniqueness comes from our algorithms. So we are very happy to advance the democratic distribution of as much energy data in the world as possible.
Thanks, Ibrahim.
Hi, I think I can ask a question now, if that's okay. So thank you very much, because Jovan asked one of the questions that I had was, where do you get your data from? And you gave a very thorough answer to that. From your presentation, did I also understand that you want to build plants as well, or did I misunderstand that?
Yes, we do.
want to build plants?
We currently looking at pilot projects in the UK. We have 2 pilot projects that we are looking at as part of the COVID stimulus and in the economic zones. And one of the advisors that I have used to be the Director General of the Pipeline Industries Guild in the UK, and she is actively pursuing those opportunities. We also submitted to the Helsinki Challenge, which is an energy challenge on heating, and we presented to the mayor, and we hope to be shortlisted for that event as well, for that challenge. Yeah.
So if I may, a follow-on question from that. If you are building plant, that's obviously, you know, CAPEX and incredibly resource intensive. Are you funding that through grant money at the moment? And what will your long-term strategy be to make sure that that's monetized beyond the data? The data, I think, is the data aspect of your business is clear. It's the plant bit that I'm a little bit more, I have more questions around.
Yeah, sure. So what will happen with the pilot projects is that we have relationships with established technology providers. So examples would be ThyssenKrupp's hydrogenics, and we would use their proven technology. But there will be a use case for that plant, and if we prove the pilot plant with our technology, we do not necessarily have to go be part of the expansion of the plant, though it's an option. But we would be quite happy to hand it over to maybe a much larger player, like a gas operator or a international oil company, if that was the best case.
Thank you, Reem. That's much clearer. Thank you.